Every single day you are being outsmarted and you don't even notice. It happens in the workplace, in friendships, and in love. People are silently playing games with your mind, bending your choices without you realizing. It's subtle. The people you think are geniuses, they are simply masters of manipulation. They know laws, secret rules that most people will never see. These laws are too dark, too dangerous, and too effective. But today, I'm going to expose these secrets, rip the mask off, and show you the 15 darkest laws of power. The people who dominate don't rely on luck, talent, or endless hard work. No, they operate with precision. Every single move they make is deliberate, carefully crafted to keep them ahead, while everyone else stumbles blindly. A smile, a compliment, or even silence. They know the power of these subtle gestures. Nothing is accidental. It's all calculated leverage. While the masses cling to the idea of fairness, justice, and honesty, the true geniuses use those illusions as weapons to climb higher. But here's the truth. Power isn't fate. Power is built. It's engineered through strategy, discipline, and ruthless execution. Those who hold power are not chosen. They choose themselves. They see weaknesses as opportunity. They bend perception until reality favors them. And they turn rivals, allies, and even friends into tools for their ascent. Now, I want you to understand something fundamental. If you're still waiting for the world to reward your effort, you've already lost. Power doesn't come to the deserving. It comes to the dangerous. If you're hoping for fairness, you've already been left behind. Today, I'll reveal the blueprint, the 15 darkest laws of power. The codes that predators live by while everyone else plays dead. 1. Never reveal your true plans. The first and most vital lesson is simple but deadly. Never reveal your true plans. Power moves in the shadows. The moment someone knows your intentions, they gain the power to stop, betray, or destroy you. Take Julius Caesar, for example. A brilliant man, but he trusted Brutus, shared too much of his ambition, and it led to his death on the Ides of March. His transparency became his downfall. Contrast that with Napoleon Bonaparte. He built empires by mastering the art of deception. He feigned weakness, misled enemies, and struck only when his opponents were unprepared. Napoleon knew the power of silence, the power of keeping people guessing. Even modern leaders, like Steve Jobs, understood this law. Jobs kept his products and strategies under tight wraps until the very last moment, leaving his competitors scrambling to catch up. The lesson: ordinary people overshare, geniuses mislead. Predictability is weakness. Concealment is power. The more unpredictable you are, the more untouchable you become. 2. Eliminate rivals. Completely half measures are fatal when it comes to maintaining power. A rival left alive will always come back fueled by revenge, ambition, or simply a desire for more. History is full of leaders who underestimated this principle. Take Alexander the Great, for example. When he conquered, he didn't just defeat his enemies. He wiped them off the map, destroyed their armies, and eliminated their leaders. By removing the possibility of resurgence, he made rebellion impossible. Roman dictator Sulla did the same. After his civil war victories, he purged all remaining rivals, leaving no one who could threaten his rule. Kings and queens throughout history knew that showing mercy was dangerous. It invited conspiracy. Spare an enemy, and you risk your own demise. This principle doesn't just apply to battles and thrones, it extends to any competition. Anyone who is left unchecked can rise to challenge you at any moment. Power is maintained not through mercy, but through decisive action. Hesitation allows rebellion, but total, complete action enforces obedience. Removing threats entirely is not cruelty, it is strategy. The true strategist knows that hesitation invites chaos. They act decisively, ensuring that no loose ends remain. 3. Make others dependent on you. True power doesn't come from brute force. Alone it lies in control. The most effective way to control others is by making them dependent on you. When people rely on you for survival, success, or influence, they are no longer free to act against you. Their ambitions, fears, and choices align with your will. Cardinal Richelieu of France was a master of this principle. He made the nobility's wealth, influence, and political survival completely dependent on his favor. Similarly, the Medici family controlled Florence by weaving networks of dependency. They structured every alliance, every financial decision, every influential post to keep people tied to them. Once someone depends on you, they become less likely to betray you because doing so threatens their very survival. They might harbor resentment, but they'll never act on it because their position is tied to your success. Dependency is quiet, invisible dominance. It doesn't need to be forceful or overt. With each strategic favor, each carefully placed opportunity, you create invisible chains around your rivals, turning them into silent allies. 4. Control the visibility. Power is amplified by scarcity. The more present you are, the more ordinary you become. Visibility breeds familiarity, and familiarity breeds complacency. Leaders who understand this wield absence as a weapon. Queen Elizabeth I of England mastered this tactic. Her appearances were rare, calculated events. Every word, every gesture carried weight. She understood that absence made her presence more powerful, leaving people longing for her next move. Roman emperors employed similar tactics, appearing only when necessary, ensuring they never became predictable. This unpredictability created a sense of awe and respect. They controlled the narrative by limiting exposure. Absence also breeds anticipation. When people speculate about your next move, they overestimate your importance. And this uncertainty works to your advantage, making every action more influential. Strategic withdrawal is not a sign of weakness, it's preparation. It's a way of controlling your narrative and ensuring that when you do act, your actions carry more weight than they would if you were constantly present. 5. Reputation is everything. Once your reputation is damaged, all other forms of strength, wealth, influence, skill can crumble. A tarnished reputation invites attacks and undermines alliances. Throughout history, leaders like Catherine de' Medici understood that maintaining a reputation of power was essential to staying in control. Every public appearance, every alliance, every move was calculated to project authority. Roman generals knew that the perception of invincibility was crucial to maintaining loyalty and respect. If your image falters, your power falters. Reputation isn't passive, it's actively managed. False rumors, misinterpretations, these need to be addressed swiftly. The more you guard your reputation, the more you control situations with subtlety. Allies obey, rivals hesitate, and adversaries overestimate your power. 6. Use emotions to control. Logic can be countered, but emotions, they are the driving force behind decisions. Mastering these emotions gives you power without force. Cleopatra of Egypt was a master at this. She used her allure, her charm, and her charisma to captivate rulers and generals. She didn't coerce them, she made them her allies through emotional influence. Roman orators, too, understood this principle. They didn't rely solely on reason. They appealed to the emotions of the crowd, using fear, pride, and envy to sway entire assemblies. A well-timed threat, the promise of glory, or the illusion of affection can manipulate both masses and elites. When people act out of fear, greed, or love, they don't question their choices, they simply act. Mastering emotions allows you to control others without force. Logic can be debated, but emotions can be manipulated. Those who control emotions hold the invisible levers of influence. They can inspire loyalty, provoke fear, or even create loyalty through the illusion of affections. 7. The power of uncertainty. Predictability is vulnerability. The moment others can predict your moves, they can counter them. The best leaders keep everyone around them off balance by creating an aura of uncertainty. The Medici rulers of Florence mastered this. One day, they would grant favors. The next, they would withdraw them, ensuring no one could take their loyalty for granted. Roman emperors did the same, keeping their generals and senators unsure of their next actions. This forced everyone to remain cautious, dependent on the emperor for their survival and advantage. Unpredictability forces others into a state of fear and dependence, giving you the upper hand. Even small gestures or unexpected decisions can give you the advantage, creating fear, confusion, or anticipation. By staying unpredictable, you prevent rivals from forming coherent plans and force them to act reactively. 8. Time your moves perfectly. Timing is everything. Even the best strategy can fail if executed too early or too late. Leaders like Julius Caesar and Napoleon understood that timing wasn't just about being fast or decisive. It was about understanding the rhythm of events, the moods of people, and the currents of opportunity. They knew when to strike and when to wait. Caesar's crossing of the Rubicon wasn't random. It was done at the exact moment when Rome's political chaos could be exploited. Napoleon's campaigns were often delayed or accelerated based on political, seasonal, or psychological conditions. Timing isn't just about speed, it's about precision. Knowing when to act or withdraw makes the difference between success and failure. 9. Actions speak louder than words. Words can be debated, deeds cannot. Those who rely on persuasion alone leave themselves vulnerable to doubt and manipulation. Power is secured by visible results, decisive actions. Alexander the Great didn't argue for his right to rule. He conquered. His actions spoke louder than words. Roman generals proved their power through victories and conquest, making their authority undeniable. Actions carry weight that words can't. In the world of power, the ability to deliver results, to act decisively, creates respect and authority. Promises and rhetoric only work if you back them up with action. 10. Choose your associations carefully. Associations determine perception, influence, and survival. Those who align with the unlucky, the weak, or the unstable inherit their misfortune. Power is contagious, but so is vulnerability. Leaders who understand this principle choose their allies carefully, surrounding themselves with competence, loyalty, and foresight. King Louis I of France exemplified this principle. He knew that associating with those who could compromise his position would be a fatal mistake. He surrounded himself with people who were capable and stable, making sure that his alliances strengthened his power. Roman emperors also understood this. They distanced themselves from generals and senators whose ambitions or recklessness threatened the stability of the empire. Unstable or unlucky individuals don't just fail when called upon. They bring instability, which can cause cascading failures. Your power is reflected in the people you choose to align with. People who fail, or who are unstable, will reflect poorly on you, even if you yourself are competent. On the other hand, by choosing to associate with capable and loyal individuals, you can amplify your influence. To navigate the world of power, cultivate relationships deliberately. Choose to align with those whose success reinforces your authority and distance yourself from those whose instability could threaten it. In the game of power, strength is reinforced by association. Weakness is amplified by it. 11. Control the choices of others. True power lies not in being unpredictable, but in shaping the choices of others. People often believe they are acting freely, but their decisions can be subtly guided. By controlling the options available to others, a leader ensures that every path leads back to their advantage. The Medici family of Florence perfected this principle. They created a system where every decision, every political move, and even marriages were orchestrated to secure their dominance. Their rivals, although believing they had choices, were maneuvered into decisions that aligned with Medici interests. Similarly, Roman leaders manipulated the Senate and generals by framing the debate, making every choice serve the emperor's goals. By limiting the options available, you effectively eliminate the possibility of rebellion. Even rivals who believe they are asserting their power will be led to act in ways that ultimately benefit you. This principle extends beyond politics negotiations, alliances. Even everyday interactions can be framed so that your interests remain protected. The illusion of choice can be as powerful as actual control. By offering options that seem appealing yet ultimately serve your purpose, you guide others to act in ways that strengthen your position without them even realizing it. 12. Use trust and generosity as weapons in the ruthless world of power. Trust and generosity can be more effective weapons than force. People are naturally suspicious, but a well-timed act of kindness can lower their defenses and make them more vulnerable to influence. The most powerful leaders understand this principle. They know that trust, when extended selectively, can disarm rivals and create openings for manipulation. King Henry IV of France frequently used this tactic. by showing generosity to certain nobles or admitting faults at strategic moments. He lulled his rivals into complacency. They believed they were dealing with a straightforward or benevolent figure, only to be outmaneuvered when the time was right. Similarly, Roman generals granted clemency to defeated enemies, creating the illusion of mercy, only for those spared to become indebted or dependent, ultimately strengthening the general's position. This tactic works because people lower their guard when they perceive honesty or kindness. A single act of trust or generosity can create confusion and admiration, making others more susceptible to your influence. However, this strategy requires precision. Too much generosity undermines the tactic, and insincerity can be easily detected. The greatest leaders use this tool sparingly, manipulating their image to gain advantages without overt confrontation. 13. Appeal to self-interest, not loyalty. People are motivated by their own gain. Appeals to loyalty, kindness, or morality are fragile and often ignored. The most effective leaders understand that self-interest is the strongest lever of influence. If you can align your goals with the desires of others, they will act on your behalf, not because of loyalty, but because it benefits them. Catherine de' Medici of France was a master of this. She didn't make promises based on friendship or virtue. Instead, she appealed to the ambitions and fears of the nobles. Every favor, every policy, every marriage was designed to offer clear personal advantages to those who complied. Roman commanders and statesmen also understood this principle. They rewarded soldiers with plunder, promotions, and political favor, ensuring loyalty through tangible rewards rather than abstract ideals. Self-interest is powerful because it's clear and understandable. People act decisively when they see the immediate benefit for themselves. Moral appeals are weak, and loyalty is fleeting. People act out of ambition, fear, or desire, not out of gratitude or duty. Leaders who tap into self-interest control the decisions of others without forcing them. 14. Gather intelligence relentlessly. Knowledge is power, and the most effective way to maintain it is by gathering intelligence from every source, even those closest to you. A leader who reveals too little and listens carefully can anticipate threats, manipulate rivals, and control outcomes. Those who appear loyal often provide the most valuable information when treated as sources rather than allies. King Louis I of France had a network of informants who reported every whisper, every hidden ambition, and every possible threat. This intelligence allowed him to strike decisively, often before his rivals even realized they were under threat. Roman generals and emperors used spies and advisors to gather intelligence on their allies and enemies alike. This network of knowledge ensured that decisions were based on facts, not assumptions. This principle is subtle but relentless. By maintaining the appearance of friendship, you gain trust and access to information that others would withhold. Every conversation, every alliance becomes an opportunity to gather intelligence. When you know more than your rivals, you can act preemptively, control events, and manipulate outcomes. 15. Close matters decisively. The final principle of power is one that many overlook: closure. Power is maintained not by beginnings, but by how decisively one concludes matters. Leaving loose ends is a fatal mistake. Every unfinished alliance, unresolved conflict, or unpunished betrayal is a seed for future threats. Julius Caesar didn't just conquer Gaul and retreat to Rome. He reorganized the territories, installed loyal governors, and neutralized any potential rivals before they could challenge his authority. Similarly, Roman emperors like Augustus meticulously managed succession and administration, leaving no opportunity for rivals to exploit gaps in power. Unresolved matters create vulnerability. Those who fail to close chapters, who leave threats lingering, will eventually find that those unresolved issues return to haunt them. A skilled leader understands that closure is vital to maintaining control. Whether it's resolving a conflict, finalizing an alliance, or punishing betrayal, leaving no loose ends ensures that you remain in command. The psychological impact of closure is also significant. People respect decisiveness. When others see you resolve matters swiftly and decisively, they recognize your authority. It signals that you are in control and will not tolerate ambiguity or hesitation. Hesitation invites manipulation and rebellion. but closure creates loyalty, obedience, and respect. By mastering the art of ending things decisively, a leader not only consolidates power, but also builds a self-reinforcing system of influence. Power grows not by what is left unresolved, but by what is brought to a definitive conclusion. The more a leader is able to end matters conclusively, the more their authority is solidified. Power, when concluded properly, becomes unassailable. Now that you've learned these 15 laws, I hope you understand the gravity of the strategies that shape power. These laws aren't about brute force or violence. They are about subtle manipulation, strategic thinking, and calculated moves. Every action is designed to ensure that those who follow these laws remain 3 steps ahead. If you want to keep learning the darkest strategies of power, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more ruthless insights that the world doesn't want you to know. Stay sharp, stay strategic, and always remember, mastery lies in the details. Power isn't given, it's taken.